mean, like I said, yo, skeletons in your closet might could be hindering you. You know what I'm saying? Like I just said, getting gutted, getting gritty. I mean, it's gonna touch a lot of souls, but still, that's what we're here for. My soul has been touched through what I have went through with skeletons in my closet. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to make this a me show. I want to make this a us show. You know what I'm saying? It's all about all of us show. You know what I mean? That shit is gut feeling, man. You know what I mean? You've been through something in your life. You know what I mean? Whether you seen something in your household or whether you seen something with your mans and y'all did something, you know, yo, and you could be holding it, but yo, don't let that hold you back. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to address that situation. And if you don't ever address it and if you learn to live with it, that's cool. But you got to remember, if you learn to live with that skeleton in your closet, remember, if it's harming you still, don't let it affect people around you because it will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may not even know what you be doing. You lashing out. It could affect anything around you. Good evening to all my family and friends. And salutations to all my extended ones. Listen, I am your host, Elefante. And my man over there to the lefty of me, that's my pal, the skipper. You know the drilly. But anyway, let's get to this point, right? This topic today is about skeletons in your closet. I came up with that due to the fact that I was doing the math or something. I was watching a show, I think it was, pertaining to that. You know what I'm saying? And I related to it because it has something to do with me and my skeletons that I had in my closet that I still deal with.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's not a hindrance anymore. But anyway, skeletons in your closet, it could pertain to anything in your life that you may have witnessed or that you may have been a part of, such as molestation. We're going to dig deep into the gut. It's not a laughing matter, y'all. It's going to be real touchy and sketchy. You know, you might have seen some things in your life that you still hanging up behind you, or what happened to you, or you know something that happened to somebody, and you still holding on to that skeleton in your closet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to try to, you know, be your therapist or your psychologist, but yo, I've been through that stuff, that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I experienced that. You know what I mean? On another note, you know what I mean? Like I said, yo, skeletons in your closet might could be hindering you. You know what I'm saying? Like I just said, getting gutted, getting gritty. I mean, it's going to touch a lot of souls, but still, that's what we're here for. My soul has been touched through what I have went through with skeletons in my closet. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to make this a me show. I want to make this a us show. You know what I'm saying? It's all about all of us show. You know what I mean? That shit is gut feeling, man. You know what I mean? You've been through something in your life. You know what I mean? Whether you seen something in your household or whether you seen something with your mans and y'all did something, you know, yo, and you could be holding it, but yo, don't let that hold you back. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to address that situation. And if you don't ever address it and if you learn to live with it, that's cool. But you got to remember, if you learn to live with that skeleton in your closet, remember, if it's harming you still, don't let it affect people around you because it will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may not even know what you be doing. You lashing out. It could affect anything around you.
Yeah.
Your co-workers, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For real though. You know what I mean? If you're not going to address it or bring it to the table and try to learn to deal with it in a certain form where it could be positive, I ain't trying to tell you how to do it. I'm just suggesting stuff. You got to find an outlet. Like I said, if your outlet is just to keep it and not excavate it, not dig it out of you, cool. But remember, don't let it affect others around you, though.
Wait, let me interject.
Go ahead.
Sidebar. We're not telling you to talk about things that are incriminating for people. We're not telling you to be no dry snitch. We're not telling you to be a rat master splinter. None of that shit. We're telling you just talk about it with people. If it's something like molestation, anything that's bothering you,
abuse in the home,
that's really like dealing with you to the point where it makes problems for you and things around you. You have to address it. Everybody, I believe that energy travels. I believe that genes travel. Yeah, I believe that genes travel from generation to generation to generation. And if a person can look like their great-grandfather, imagine how that great-grandfather looked like their great-grandfather, and that great-grandfather looked like that great-grandfather. This is something that is a never-ending story. So if your genes, your physical attribute can be like, you look like somebody, a lot of times you can pick up genes and traits for people, like abusive traits and stuff like that, and people can do things to people. It may be a mother and a father that's wholesome, go to church, work 9 to 5, take care of their kids, but it might be a problem with that kid. Something could be going on with a person and no one never knows. But have enough courage to be able to talk to somebody if you got anything that's bothering you. Because like I said, what I was telling you earlier, I would challenge anybody to tell me that if that energy don't travel. And I'm talking about never dissipates. Energy always travels.
From 105 years ago.
Always travel.
It's in there.
1,000 years ago, somewhere, some energy around.
You gotta know how to tap in.
You gotta know. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, broski, right? Yo, but the skeletons in your closet though, right? Like, listen, for me, I dealt with skeletons in my closet for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Whether they were mine or somebody else's.
Right.
But what I have done, and I'm just saying from my perspective, from what I have done with the skeletons in my closet, you know, I had to learn as time progressed. You know, I want to get this shit rid of, get it out of me. You know what I mean? I did some things, some courses or whatever. However, I took them out, no matter what I did. But you know what? I addressed that person who I probably have dealt a bad deed, or they did a bad deed to me. So when I seen that person, or he or she, you know, I accosted them gently, and we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? And we was cool. That relieved a lot of skeleton. I mean, that skeleton's still there, but that relieved some things from him, her, and I. However, whoever it was. They were relieved. They were lifted. I lifted their soul. You understand? By addressing that. They didn't expect that. It was all so abrupt. But at the same time, I don't know how you're going to address your situation, but if you want to get that skeleton out of your closet, address it. If you don't want to address it, then keep it. But remember, don't burden nobody else. And that goes back to saying that, my skeletons is not that many, but I still got another one I want to get rid of. You understand? But I got a lot of people relied in me. People that has, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm going back to break about the other people's skeletons that I'm burning with.
Word.
People
sometimes a person can put things on you, and you carrying skeletons, their skeletons.
It's not that much of a hindrance,
right.
but it's just the fact that they're like, damn, that shit was gooey, he just told me, or she just told me.
Word.
Damn.
Word.
Wow, so now when I see him and her, I'm like, they just relieved their shit off of me. Yeah. That's what they did.
Right.
I just think, in hindsight, I think about, okay, they just told me their secret, or you know what I mean? I kept their secret for years and years. I'm not going to release it. You know what I mean? It's not hindering me, but I'm just saying, what I'm thinking in hindsight, when they did that break, they was relieved, I guess. I suppose. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know.
Definitely could be that.
You know what I mean? I'm just surmising. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but a lot of times people got to have an understanding about secrets, how people hold secrets. There's some things that are best left unsaid and not talked about.
Yeah.
But there's some things that can bother people for so long and they don't talk about it. They can hold it in. And you know what they say about the #1 killer is stress. Stress goes along with them skeletons and them bones in your closet.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been touched in different ways, mentally as well as physically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people do need to have, whether it's a mental couch or a physical couch to sit on, to lay on, to be able to have conversation with people, an open dialect with people. And sometimes it's better to find a person, a non-biased person, to have a conversation with about things that goes on in you. That stuff can really bother people, man.
Yeah.
It can have people start eating more. You can have people start drinking more, start using drugs more, be abusive to their kids, and they don't even realize what they're doing behind some stress. Some things that's going on. A lot of people really don't see when they have things going on behind something that happened, trauma that happened to them as kids, or something that they seen that happened. Especially when they see stuff. A lot of times kids walk into the rooms and see parents getting it in. And that subconsciously run through them, and they think when they get older, that's the move.
That's a mental health issue.
Yeah, that's real issues.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Though,
so,
man,
you know, people need to really have an open discussion, especially black people, with the 400 plus years of tragedy, trauma that we went through. And nobody, like I said, nobody cannot dispute or argue with me that energy, that those genes didn't travel down from generation to generation. If I can sit back and I can look like my grandfather or my great-grandfather, or my aunt can look like my great-great-grandmother or some shit like that, you can't tell me that, that a person can't pick up this mental gene too.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's
and I'm talking
obvious.
about the stress.
But people will debate you too on that, and it's quite obvious.
Challenge them to do it. Challenge them.
I
challenge you.
Challenge.
I challenge you.
You understand?
Dude,
this is what we here for.
Go and do your research and see if it's real or not. This is real serious business. There's no way in the world that a person cannot see with their own two eyes that if you look like, you have people that look like somebody they never met 100 years ago. You mean to tell me if you can look like that person physically, that you don't have the mental abilities or the, you know what I mean, that type of stuff to gather their traits and you know what I mean, and pass off their traits and stuff like that? No. I'm telling you, man, I don't care what nobody say. I don't have to be take a course in college about this stuff.
Nah.
That's just simple sense, common sense.
That's life.
You know what I'm saying?
And yo, and like I just want to tell the people, yo, listen, man. If I'm revisiting or rehashing some things in your life, I don't mean to do that. Yo, this is about me, myself too. Also, like I said, I'm along with you. You understand what I'm saying? Fathom. So, you know, this is touchy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not.
I'm gonna give an example. Let me give one. Let me open up the door.
I know something.
Let me open up the door about something, right? 14 years old. I was 14 years
What year?
old. This had to be 1987, the top of the year. So it was going from 1986 to 1987. Me and this kid we had a stolen car. What we used to call back in the days a half a G car. So we had the car and it just so happened to be stolen. Me, God bless his soul, Shorty, Big Shorty that passed away.
Boy
Bless his soul.
Boy Sherm.
He passed away and this kid that used to be around our way, Fred. He was in a stolen car. Shorty was older than us, so police pulled us over at Weaver. Pulled us over. Shorty went to Morgan Street. Me and Ack went to Broad Street. So me and Ack we was in a little juvenile joint for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Never forget this. I told people here and there. But Fred got out before me, maybe a day before me, he got out. I got out probably the following day. And I remember this man, I can't remember his name, but I just know that face. That face I would never forget, ever forget. He was a counselor there. So now, they go through the process of signing out and stuff like that. So as we on the elevator, I don't know what made this man go there and talk this crazy shit, but he was like, I got you out of jail.
You talking to me?
Yeah, talking to me. So in my mind, I'm like, what you talking about? Like,
weirdo.
I know better. Like, I've been in the streets a little bit at that time, to have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh yeah. I was like, man, thanks. I appreciate it. So went to extend my hand out. He said, no, give me a hug. Huh? And I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, give you a hug. So now, I'm like, all right, fuck it. While my hand out. But he let my hand go and wrapped his hands around me. That's a little bit too much. Hold up, homie. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a little bit too much. Oh, no, it's nothing like that. But that always stayed with me. Like, what if I would have been a sucker that held him, you know what I'm saying, and really gave him that feeling? You know what I mean? And even though that's not nothing, but to me that's something.
You never told nobody about that though, right?
I did. I talked about it to people,
but
it wasn't nothing. But it was weird to me that an older person
like that
would do something like that to a child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it wasn't. I know I've never been in those situations where a person got at me or tried to molest me or nothing like that. But I'm just telling people that those are situations that happen, and people need to have conversations. A lot of times, kids need to have an open conversation and let people know if things like that happen. And if your parents are too abusive, a lot of times you may need to go to an uncle or whoever and have a conversation. If your spouse, whoever you deal with, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever is too abusive, you need to have that conversation about stuff like that. If you got a person that's just a liar, or there's all types of mental and physical abuse that can bring skeletons to a person's closet behind something that has happened. That's wicked, that people don't have no conversation about. And a lot of times, if you do open up your mouth and tell people, people will push it to the side because they play favoritism with certain people they will embrace that certain person.
But not only that, they look at it like, yo, that's part of the game, man. You all right. You know what I'm
especially
saying?
with black people.
Yeah.
Like that mental mindset that black people have, Man, everybody goes through that physical abuse, not just white people, not everybody goes through, but a lot of people traditionally would be, like you said, man, that ain't nothing, that never happened.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. No, that shit happened.
Yes.
So if you have any type of things that's going on with you, any type of skeletons, anything that bothers you, man, find somebody to have a conversation with. It's not a problem to have a conversation with people. And check up on your kids, and check up on your parents, and check up on people, man.
You know what I learned to do, Break? I mean, and if you can't talk to nobody, just find yourself jotting stuff down in your journal. Get a journal. I mean, it might sound crazy, whatever, but I learned to do that before, right? And I wrote in the journal, like how my day going, and how I'm thinking about this person making me mad, or you understand? I learned that in my past, journey of being incarcerated. You know what I mean? It helped me get through the day, the course of my days. So for real, we all need something to help us through our daily events to cope. However, if you can't talk to no one and you're not that type of person, okay, well, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm saying you might just find an outlet. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to, lashing out at everybody and you not know what's going on, you lose a lot of people that might really like you. You don't even know what the fuck, man, got something going on. You can see people like that.
It's been a lot of times that things happen like that, and we probably did say this bugged out, but crazy acting motherfucker, but never know the trauma that they went through.
Exactly.
The skeletons that's in their closet that they don't speak on.
Yo, could I get something this pertaining to me? It's
go for it, baby.
A little bit. It was a skeleton, that was haunting me for a long time. And in hindsight, I seen my friend get killed before. You know what I'm saying? 1987. You know what I'm saying? Me, my mans, all three of us and stuff like that. Things of that nature, whatever. That's how I got the name homicide, man. It's not. I'm not glorifying that name. I didn't even want that name. I remember who gave me that name. My man's cool, whatever. I remember when I got the moniker. But I addressed the person because the person was trying to, I was supposed to be the assailant of that, but I wasn't. That was a skeleton in my closet because I knew this guy who did it, and I knew everything about him already. His skeleton's in his closet. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen him in 1997 at a block party on Cabot Street, I approached him. I approached him and I stepped to his business and we talked. You know what I mean? He was crying. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I didn't even know what I was doing at that time. Subconsciously that I was relieving stuff off of his shoulder and off of mine.
Word.
You fathom? I'm just giving you, that was a skeleton. That was a big skeleton for me. That's the reason why I took my violence to a whole nother level. That's why, because I wasn't that violent before all that incident occurred. You know what I mean? I was going the street route. But when that occurred, man, I just got out the chamber.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was haunting me. I didn't know subconsciously. That's why I was wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what's really wild? You way crazy. And the nigga bug the fuck out. That was what haunted me. Son. Yeah. That was a skeleton that made me act out the way I was violent. You understand?
Yeah.
Throwing bottles and rocks at you, whoever, however.
Word.
You know what I mean? It's not a jocular matter. I'm not joking about it, but I'm just saying, if I do a little antic, okay, well, you're trying to make this emotional and have you little, ease your pain too at the same time. You still gotta laugh.
People need to have conversations. People need to open up and address things and be serious about it. And people need to take people serious about situations that goes on in their lives, personal stuff like that. And a lot of people don't want to open up because people will sit there and clown them and joke them and bash them and talk all crazy to them because it never happened to them. But lo and behold, you got family members, little kids, things happen, and the little kids don't understand what's going on. That's a whole brand new skeleton. Wow. Soft bone.
Yeah.
Baby skeleton. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
Now they holding that up. Hold on, soft bone.
Soft bone. So that's a skeleton in their closet. And they growing up subconsciously is becoming something bad and molding them into an animal. You know what I mean? Like, people need to show people a lot more consideration, a lot more compassion. You know what I mean? And be open to people to be able to have these conversations, and people need to have your trust to be able to talk to you and tell you things in confidence, and with the hopes, not even the hopes, but the know that you would never put their business out there.
Exactly. They can have that, and it's evident that they could do that with you. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to me, what I was saying, like, quite a few people dudes and girls have come to me and
Right.
in secrecy
Yes.
and you know what and I learned that damn that must be something about me.
Yeah.
Where they could tell me stuff like that and know that ain't going nowhere. And it hasn't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't harbor me, it doesn't hinder me, but it's to know that damn, I'm bagging this shit, yo. I got this skeleton. It's a motherfucker.
Yeah,
You heard me?
that's baggage, man. You gotta be
Yeah, that's
strong.
baggage. But I'm
you gotta
still-
be
I'm-
strong
I'm-
and carry
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because just as you are, I mean, I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people all the time about things that, you know what I mean, stuff like that. And, I can open up to people too. But I always learned that, the universe is big. So whatever you throw out there, let's believe it can travel anywhere it need to go
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
So never think for a second that it's gonna stay in confidence, but a person that you go to in confidence should be honorable enough to hold what you give them to their heart, near and dear to them, and never release that information you gave them. You dig me?
Like yo, like what I just revealed about my situation,
Right.
I don't know if that was a skeleton or some people know about that situation, but they don't
Yeah,
know.
but they don't.
Not only that, not just about what happened, but with the person who was my,
Right.
you know what I mean?
I mean,
My-
you
my-
know,
my
the
co-
no.
my-
I know
I know
the
about,
people
you
that
know what I mean? I know
yeah.
his skeletons, you understand?
Right,
I'm holding
right.
his skeletons.
Right.
And I didn't just talk about what transpired that night with us, him and I, and my rest in peace, my boy Fred. I talked about him about what other shit I know he did. You maggot mother. I ain't tell him like that but I'm just
Man,
saying.
you should have said it.
I,
You said he know who he is and he
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
represented.
And now-
then he turned out to be a master splinter.
anywho, trying to throw a
Told
little
on
scoop.
told on the boy that he tried to get at one of the homies, and then
Yeah.
the homie ended up getting at him.
Anyway,
then he told on
but
the
he told a
homie.
lot of stuff,
and
tried to do
then,
a
he
lot of
told on
stuff.
other things too, but that's
Yeah,
just one
yeah,
of the
but we just
situations.
we ain't trying to make this about us anyway. We just want to exemplify something. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to release my inhibition to y'all, so y'all don't think that we fugazi up here. No, we ain't dealing with that. We bring it to you raw butt naked. You know what I mean? Yo, and the thing is, yo, we want y'all to be able to talk to us. If I have some things that y'all want to get across, you know what I mean? Shoot it across, man. You know what I mean? Check
Yeah.
us out, man. We on all major networks, man. For
On
real,
all
though,
major
man.
networks.
This is what we doing, man.
Mhm.
We ain't playing no games, man.
But on something on a totally different note, do not blame me for the color coordination.
What color coordination? Man, that's what we do, man.
I'm
We
just
finna-
saying, don't blame me for.
We finna murder.
Okay.
Hold up.
I'm just saying, don't blame me for the color coordination.
Mhm.
But real spill though,
We love y'all, man.
if y'all have any skeletons in your closet, and it could be some foul shit that you did, whatever. Just,
But
I mean,
somebody-
if you can live with it, live with it. If you
That's
can.
what I'm saying. But don't let it affect nobody
Yeah,
else
don't
around
let it
you, though. No, I'm
affect
not-
nobody else
around
around
you, yo, because you missing out a whole lot of things. People looking at you. You could be you could have been a millionaire, a billionaire, but the way you carry on,
Right.
ignorant, because you hindering and harboring something that transpired in your life that's a skeleton. Motherfucker don't want to mess with you. Pardon my language. You understand? You know I'm better than that. I'm very articulate. But yo, listen. But yeah, I'm in the verb. But yeah, but you holding back. You missing out.
Yeah.
From being like that. You
Yeah.
can hold it. Okay, if you don't want to, like my boy Brick said, if you don't want to, address it, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Keep it inside of you then. But yo, don't let it affect your kids and everybody
Right.
else around you.
And that's a part
For
of
real.
that's a big problem, because a lot of times people deal with psychological issues and then be so bugged the fuck out. And this is no real disrespect, but people be so bugged the fuck out. They will go to people, a real psychiatrist, whatever that person is, a shrink, whatever you want to call them, and they will really have conversation, and then they will be, in their mind, they will think that, man, I ain't crazy, why I'm coming here, like this crazy, I'm not doing this shit, but really have problems. Man, listen, you have to get it off. If you have to go to a fucking bar and eat some peanuts and drink a beer and talk to somebody you never met before, or you have to get on the bus and ride that bus and have a conversation with somebody, by all means, let it out. But like I said, if it's some information that don't need to be talked about, please keep it to yourself. And I'm talking about, some silly shit, but I'm talking about something that really hurts you. If you want to talk about it, talk about it. We're not telling nobody to be no master splinters. We ain't telling you to be no ratatouille. We ain't telling you to be no fight.
Cheesecake Factory, no, we ain't doing that.
Teach you to be no
We
American.
ain't invoking that.
None of them fight.
Let's get that across.
None of that shit.
First
We're
of
just
all-
telling you to just have conversation with people, man. Whoever can be an outlet for you, that can help you out, mental abuse, physical abuse, all of that stuff is real. It's not a joke. People need to have conversations about things. If you don't want to have a conversation about things, and if you're strong enough to hold it in, hold it in.
But don't let it affect
But
nobody else
don't
around
let
you.
it affect no one around you.
For real, that's
you
the
can
main
go to your
key.
job, and that can be the last day of the rest of your life at that job. Or it can be the last day of somebody else's day for the rest of their life at that job. Do not bring no problems to nobody else's doorstep. And definitely don't try hard not to let bad news beat you home. For real. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how people would really address certain things, how would you come to people, but go to somebody, man. Go, I'm telling you, it's good to have conversation with people. At first, when I was young, I was in a situation when a person told me that they used to go like and talk to anybody. They would be driving on a highway and they would be in such deep thought, they would miss the exit. You know what I'm saying? No, they in deep thought thinking about something that's fucking with them,
Yeah.
and they miss the exit because they in deep thought.
They
you know what I'm
like a
saying?
mother
Like
lover. Yeah,
stuff
I got
like
you.
that.
I
Like
follow.
a lot of times you have to, and you may not be able to go and talk to somebody in your household. You may not be able to talk to a parent. Man, it's always good to have people in your life that you can have conversation with, or you can go somewhere and be strong enough to have a conversation with someone, or go and join an AA group or something. You don't have to be an alcoholic or a crackhead or something like that to go to one of those classes and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Therapy, when you release it and let it out, beautiful thing, man.
And that's crazy because you know what? I really never got to really, relieve myself of my skeletons to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I could even do that, people was relieving themselves to me about their skeletons.
Then think about
and by
that.
the time,
Then think about this though. You was thrown into the belly of the beast.
Yeah, by the time
Now you got one issue over here, then you got another issue
I
over
want to
here.
release. I want to tell somebody about my.
Now your skin getting thick.
Yeah. So like, you know what, man,
You know
my
what I'm saying?
skeleton ain't about shit, man. These motherfuckers got some goosebumps with corny and shit going on.
That's like
I mean, I ain't saying my skeleton ain't about nothing it is, but you know what I mean? But it was like, yo, damn, I want to talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm always the person everybody come to. Ain't nothing wrong with that, and I like that because I'm a good listener. I'm a good communicator. I hear you. Maybe I give you some input, and if I don't, so be it. Maybe you don't want me to give you no input. Just listen. Like you always tell me, break. Just listen.
You have to listen. It's important.
You know, sometimes I could
There's a difference between listening and hearing.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
gonna give you a perfect example of listening and hearing.
That's why.
Think about a scary movie. When the person walking through the woods and you hear a branch break, the first thing you're gonna say, you hear that? See, the hearing part is just something that gets to your ear. Now, the important part is when you listen for the specific noise.
Yeah.
We already taught subconsciously, mentally, to know when something drops and breaks. 9 times out of 10, that's a glass or a mirror.
Or
or something.
whatever,
you know what I'm saying? For the most part. But for overall, people got to learn the difference between listening and hearing. It's very, very, very important that people need to listen. Stop all that, I hear you, or I hear you shit.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like you not really paying attention.
Oh, I already know that. I told my son that yesterday. I told my little man yesterday, yo, stop telling me you already know what to do.
Yeah.
Do it then, little boy.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do that. But
But
anywho,
yeah, we about to wrap this thing up.
Is it
Go
countdown?
ahead and give it to
Listen,
him,
man, I'm loving y'all. Y'all loving us. We love y'all. That's
I
what we
believe
doing,
it,
yo.
y'all. I believe
This
it,
is
y'all.
gut feeling. It was wrenching. It was visceral in the middle of your gut. You know what I mean? Still, we want to make y'all have a good time with us, entertain y'all. However, we coming across with some real. We're gonna be digging deep, yo. You know what I mean? This is content. You know what I mean? It's meaningful. But anyway, let me leave y'all with a thought for the day, right? You know, because you need to overcome what you're going through, man. You know what I mean? Don't push it away. Push off and push through. Okay? Just a thought for the day. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who overcomes his enemy. For the harder part of victory is victory over self.
One more time, baby.
I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who overcomes his enemies. For the hardest part of victory is victory over self. Let me say it one more time because I keep putting a him in there. I count him or her braver who overcomes his or her desires than him or her who overcomes his or her enemies. For the hardest part of victory is victory over self.
Mm.
Integrated
You know what?
peace. What you got to say?
Listen.
Go ahead, Skipper.
Check out Campfire the Podcast every Tuesday, 7 p.m. All major platforms.
so
Because we trying to, listen, we ain't trying to be local here. Like I told y'all in the last little recording I did, we shooting for the universe and the galaxies. Some of you suckers might be heading for the fucking streetlights. We bigger than that bullshit.
Popularity
You
ain't
understand
us.
me? We ain't dealing with popularity. Fuck all that. We trying to get bigger than this shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, check out Campfire Talk the Podcast on every major platform.
Acting like the pop dog, you still got it,
And
huh?
understand what we talk about when we talk about what we talk about. Knowledge, that's together, and that's peace.
Integrated. I like the pop dog, you still got it. Give me a round of applause. Forget it.